Modern medicine treats cancer as a genetic lottery, a random mutation. Dr. Collins proposes that tumor growth is actually a deliberate, calculated survival strategy. Dr. T. Quay Collins is a clinical immunologist who lost his daughter and wife to cancer. Witnessing the limits of standard care pushed him to look for the biological triggers that genetic models often overlook. He began investigating Deutenomics. This field of study examines how subatomic particles, specifically heavy isotopes, dictate cellular health and drive chronic metabolic disease. Viewing a tumor as a biological choice allows for the process to be reverse engineered. It suggests we can alter the specific environment that forces a cell into this state. Back in the 1920s, researchers noticed a bizarre anomaly in cancer cells. Instead of using their internal power plants to burn oxygen for energy, the cells shut those power plants down. This phenomenon is the Warburg effect, named after the German biochemist Otto Warburg, who first observed it over a century ago. These rogue cells switch to glycolysis. It is a primitive way of making energy by fermenting sugar without using oxygen. Because it is highly inefficient, the cell requires massive amounts of glucose to stay alive. While many view this switch to glycolysis as a mechanical glitch, Dr. Collins argues it is a desperate, intentional defense mechanism. Identifying the threat the cell is defending itself against requires looking past the tissue and the DNA. We have to zoom all the way down to the atomic level. Inside the mitochondria are billions of F-ATPase nanomotors. These are microscopic engines that spin to generate the ATP your body uses for power. These nanomotors are built to be powered by the lightest element in the universe, hydrogen. But hydrogen has a variant called deuterium. It carries an extra neutron in its nucleus, making it twice as heavy and twice as large as a normal hydrogen atom. When heavy deuterium enters the delicate F-ATPase motor, it acts like a physical wrench thrown into a high-speed engine. The motor violently jams and shatters. As these engines break, energy production drops. Simultaneously, the broken machinery leaks massive amounts of oxidative stress, a toxic byproduct that threatens the cell's own DNA. This invisible atomic sabotage triggers a biological crisis, forcing the cell into an emergency protocol to prevent its total destruction. To stop the leaking mitochondria from burning its DNA, the cell shuts its damaged power plants down. This emergency maneuver is the exact cause of the Warburg effect. The cell survives by relying purely on primitive glycolysis. This shutdown comes with a high cost. Mitochondria manage the communication systems that tell the cell when to grow, when to repair, and when to die. By losing these regulatory signals, the cell becomes deaf to the body's instructions. It begins to divide rapidly and endlessly. In this light, cancer is the tragic consequence of a cell doing whatever it takes to survive an atomic overload. Treating cancer as an adaptation to deuterium overload suggests we can fight it by systematically starving the cell of this heavy isotope. One clinical intervention is deuterium-depleted water, or DDW. This is water that has been mechanically stripped of its heavy hydrogen. This animated line chart shows tumor growth trajectories flatlining as the concentration of deuterium-depleted water increases. Replacing environmental water with DDW halts tumor progression. Starving the cancer cell of deuterium forces the tumor into apoptosis, the programmed cell death it had previously avoided. By manipulating the atomic environment, DDW uses the rules of physics to dismantle the cell's survival strategy from the inside out. The second arm of the protocol involves the therapeutic ketogenic, or high-fat diet. Unlike carbohydrates, dietary fats are naturally incredibly low in deuterium. When the body burns fat for fuel, it acts as a molecular filter, synthesizing its own pure metabolic water within the cells. This shift suggests we are not just victims waiting for a random genetic mutation to strike. Understanding Deutenomics provides a blueprint to clear the atomic sabotage and potentially restart the cellular engines that power our lives.